Welcome to Raising Consciousness with me, Lou Burrows, where raising human consciousness happens. On this show, I'm joined by guests to cover a range of topics and have conversations that will raise human consciousness for current and future generations. Now, let's dive into today's show. All right, hi everyone. Welcome back to Raising Consciousness. And today on the show, I'm going to be talking about our vision ultimately for the podcast, but really everything Raising Consciousness. The show is only a small part of a bigger vision, of a bigger project, of a bigger business. And I have been since May. So at the time of recording this, it's the 2nd of August. Since May, I have been doing a lot of inner work, maybe a little bit too much, but that's another story on actually what is the vision. And actually, let's scrap that, right? Since the beginning of 2022, there's been this vibe within me of actually what's the difference that I actually want to make in the world? And what do I actually, in a way, like want to do? Like how do I want to contribute? How do I want to bring my strengths, skills, gifts, talents into the world to serve, to help others, to move the world forward? And that's really what it's come down to, the fundamental belief that if we are not moving humanity forward in some way, then what are we doing? Yeah, that's the question. So I think it was in May. I've lost track a bit of time, but I think it was in May where I came across this concept of with I want to say like within business, but even within our personal lives, of creating what is known as a vivid vision. And I've documented a few times that I'm a huge advocate and actually a member of a platform called Mindvalley, like one of the biggest personal growth platforms out there. They have a course that's called Vivid Vision by a amazing entrepreneur, Cameron Herold, I think his name is. Hopefully I said that. And I was watching, so I'm a pro member, just put that out there. And we have pro member calls, and he was one of the guests, and he came across this concept of a vivid vision, and I really resonated with it because for so long, like I've had this vision of not just like what I want to build, but even how like the vision for the world. But I also recognized the challenge I faced in articulating it. That was the biggest challenge, and it was a challenge where because I couldn't articulate it as I wanted to, I didn't share it. I didn't put it out there. And it was within me. I think that's a lot where I've like internal turmoil, let's call it, is it's come from that I've been navigating because I couldn't articulate it, and that was challenging. And so this course, this program that I took as part of the Mindvalley platform, again, I think it was in May, helped me to put it into words to then start to articulate it. And so I started this in May. I think the course was a month long. I've then been like going back to it a bit and changing a few bits here and there as new ideas, but also new things have come through me actually as part of it. And yeah, like now I'm ready to share it. And I have been sharing it over the last month with starting off with friends and family. And it's really interesting because in me sharing it, we actually have a new business partner or I have a new business partner come on board with Raising Consciousness, which is really interesting because in the program, Cameron did say this, that once you start to share your vision, he calls it a vivid vision, that's what the quest is called, this will happen. People who resonate with it will start to be attracted towards you. And so it was really interesting for that to actually happen and for a close friend of mine to want to come on board and resonate with the vision a lot. ultimately, and didn't know that was my vision because I haven't shared it, as I mentioned before, because I didn't share it. So that's what today's episode is all going to be about. It's about the vision and what this means moving forward. Because since I started the podcast last year, towards the end of last year, it's not a surprise. Just go back through the episodes. I've only done like 14 episodes, right? Like I know that isn't enough content in order to be able to grow and make the impact that I want to make. And so moving forward with this clearer vision, right? With this clearer purpose of raising consciousness and what we're all going to be about, that's going to be the driving force of what we're doing and help a lot with everything. So today in this episode, I wanted to share that because from this point forward, there's going to be weekly episodes and I'm really looking forward to the future. Like when I think about it, even like yesterday, right? So yesterday I was attending another pro call on Mindvalley and they had this really awesome speaker on there who was actually talking about enthusiasm and intention. And like when he was talking about it, I just kept thinking about the podcast and what now moving forwards I want this to be and what I'm going to turn it into. So with the other projects supplementing that, which I'm going to go into in just a moment. So anyway, 7 minutes into today's episode, I'm just going to crack on with the vivid vision and sharing this with you and start to think. So from this episode, I just don't want you to understand what my vivid vision, raising consciousness, vivid vision is moving forward. If you can take one thing away from this, apart from the understanding of what a vivid vision is, it would be to start to reflect and to start to think on what your own vivid vision could be, right? What is your vision for your personal life and for if your personal life and if you're a business, for your business as well? Because this concept isn't just for business, it isn't just for projects or brands or whatever it is. It's also there was a whole section on creating a vivid vision for your personal life. And I've also done so much work there over the past month and becoming clear on that as well. Yeah, I want you to really bear that in mind as we go through today's episode. So the following vivid vision that I'm going to share with you is for the next 3 years. So in the program that I took, recommended that you create a vision for between a 3 to 5 year period, because 10 years for a lot of people is just so far ahead. And like for 1 year, it's like it's too close ultimately. So 3 to 5 years is perfect. And for us, it's 2025. So the end 2025. And so creating a vision brings the future into the present. So we can have clarity on what we are building now and in your personal life, what you're moving towards now. And so in terms of what I'm going to share with you today for raising consciousness, it's going to be a detailed overview of what the company, including the podcast, will look like, feel like, and also act. I feel like sometimes we forget the act, like the behavior of the company or the behavior of like in our own personal lives, like how are we going to act, what's it going to look like, how are we going to feel. And so Freya's out, as I mentioned beforehand, by the 31st of December. Before I go on, in the show notes of today's episode, there's going to be a couple of links. These links are going to take you through to the Vivid Vision document that we have created. So you can look through this for yourself. Also go to our website, raisingconsciousness.co.uk. You feel free to check out my website as well, lubaras.com, to really get a deeper understanding of this. But again, I wanted to do an episode on this to kick things off, to kick this new chapter off. So yeah, that's really the purpose of today's episode. So we've started I feel like everything starts with a core purpose, right? Some people call it core purpose, actually. Some people call it why. whatever it is, it's the reason you're showing up, it's your purpose, it fuels you, it motivates you, it gives you energy. And so hinted towards it beforehand that our core purpose, and actually believe like my core purpose, is that we exist to raise human consciousness and move humanity forward so that collectively we create a better world for current and future generations. And I mentioned this beforehand. If we aren't moving humanity forward, then why are we here? I really believe that. I really believe that this is the foundation of all human existence. For if we are not contributing in some way, and sometimes, and this is why I wanted to go through like this type of program to articulate it and improve on my communication skills, because sometimes it can get lost in translation of like, when we're creating a vision or have a purpose, like it has to be this big thing. We've got to make all this like huge impact, right? We build a huge company the size of Apple or the size of Amazon, or move the world forward in that way. And it's like, on one hand, if we aspire to do that because we believe it's our purpose to do that and it's in our DNA almost, but that's our vision, then pursue that with all of our might. However, we can contribute to moving humanity forward by how we show up in our personal life, in our community, where we live, the vocation that we go to, the job that we go to, the career that we are pursuing. Moving humanity forward isn't always this big thing of reversing climate change or building the next Amazon or the next Apple, whatever it is. That's part of it. That's part of the conversation, but it's not all of it. All of us can contribute. Key word there. Like, we believe in raising consciousness. That this is the foundation of all human existence. For if we are not contributing, so we just need to contribute to moving humanity forward in the way that we believe that fits us. And I'll probably come on to that in a minute in more detail. That fits us, that fits our strengths, skills, gifts, talents, passions, interests, ideas. Once we do that, I feel like that will give us more purpose in our lives, in our careers, in our businesses, whatever it is. So I just really want to stress that. I really want to hit that home, that moving humanity forward is about using our strengths and skills, etc., to contribute to that end goal. Okay. And our core purpose is that we exist to do that. We exist to raise human consciousness, because consciousness is like at the everything, it's at the center, it's at the everything of just human existence. And over the coming weeks, I'll definitely be sharing more about this. But anyway, that's our core purpose, right? So from our core purpose, we then have our values. Okay. So our values they're like our guiding light. There was an episode, I think it was, do forgive me if I'm wrong, episode 13 with Kiki Kirby. Go back and check out that episode. I'll link it down below, where we talk about values and how they are, like, for all of us. Our values are the guiding light, okay? In business, in personal life, whatever it is. There was a book I read, Buddha and the Badass, Vishen Alakiani, who's actually the founder of Mindvalley. So as you can see, I'm a huge advocate of the platform. But he talks about in this book, from a business standpoint, foundational values and organizational values. Foundational values they come from the founder, which obviously in this case is me. And organizational values is the values the organization creates and sets as a team for how they want to work together over the 3 to 5 year period I was referencing beforehand, which I found really helpful, because beforehand I was like, leading from my values, and when you start trying to build a team, and or not necessarily wanting to put my values onto other people, but I just found the whole organizational values really interesting. When people come on board, they believe in the foundational values, but then together we create the organizational values for how we work together as a team. And I just found that really impactful. And again, I feel like something that is starting to work. Again, as I mentioned before, we've got a new business partner on board, and I'm going to do an episode with him and to share both of our excitement in moving forward and introduce you to him. But so my point being is, at the moment there's now there's the two of us, and so even with the organizational values will continue to form as we grow the team, right? At the moment we have collaboration there because I feel collaboration is so important. But like going back to foundational values, these are at the center of everything that they do, at the center of everything that we do. And yes, they do come from me as the founder, which being or I don't want to label myself as an introvert. That's the one way I've grown over this past, or just an awareness I've got is like when we label ourselves, we create this identity, and then then we live our lives within this identity. There's also the awareness that my natural tendency is probably to be more introverted, and so like when I say even with a values point, it's all where they come from me, the founders. I just feel like highlighted in the spotlight, and but yeah, my natural tendency to probably draw away from the spotlight a bit. But anyway, I'm rambling there. So foundational values. So I also believe like these foundational values. So there's 6 core foundational values. They're at the center of everything that we do, and I believe that they come from the core of human existence. Okay, these are values that I've created or formed in my own personal life, and obviously moving them into businesses as well, because they're 6 values that I deeply believe in. That I believe, again, are not just at the core of the business or raising consciousness or even my personal life, just human existence. So the first one is love and kindness. It's all around us. Love's all around us. And it might sound a bit like fluffy, but we can get away from the fact that love is all around us and to be kind to others. Okay, so to be loving and kind to everyone and everything unconditionally. That's how I define it. Gratitude, to express gratitude for the here and now while working towards a new emerging future. Very important. We can express gratitude just for this moment, be in the, but even what about the future? I'm someone who is forward thinking, and even even though the future isn't here yet, we can still be grateful for what else, everything that is to come, because whether it's a positive or a negative, it's going to help us to grow. So like, think about this, it's going to help us to grow, or it's going to actually be what we envision and what we quote unquote want. So if it's what we want and what we envision, be grateful for it, express gratitude for it. And if it's maybe not something that we don't want, but let's just label it as bad for the ease of today's episode, we can turn that into an opportunity for growth, right? Because everything is just feedback. Next week, I'm going to be doing an episode on, or in the next episode, or it's in an upcoming episode. I've got a few guests coming on. But in an upcoming episode, I'm going to share a new model that I've formed that's based on feedback, right? Now we can use feedback to learn and grow, right? So if we just focus on becoming grateful, embracing gratitude, whatever happens, we're just grateful. We're just in that vibration. We're in that frequency of gratitude and obviously of love and kindness. So the next one is growth. Look around you, right? You go out into nature and look around you. Everything grows, right? The trees grow, plants grow, the grass grows, everything in nature grows. It evolves, it moves forward, it progresses. We grow obviously from from a physical perspective as we baby into a child up into adulthood. The great thing about human existence is that we can grow in so many other ways. We can grow intellectually, we can grow spiritually, we can grow emotionally, we can grow physically in many other ways as well. We can grow like in so many other ways that other, well, at our current level of human consciousness, right, that we understand that we're the only species on planet Earth that can grow in all these ways. Pretty amazing. So growth is a core foundational value to move forward, make progression and evolve. Next, we have contribution. I touched upon contribution in the core purpose, because for me, this is to bring our strengths, skills, gifts, talents, passions, interests, and ideas into the world, and then to serve and to move humanity forward. It's about, okay, in any given situation you're in, try this moving forward from this episode onwards, right? From this episode onwards, In any given situation that you find yourself in, ask yourself, how can I contribute? How can I contribute? How can I help? How can I support? Go within and look at, okay, these are my strengths, these are my skills, these are my talents, these are my gifts, these are my ideas, these are my passions. How can I use these to contribute, support, help, guide, make, or contribute to make other people's lives healthier, happier, better in some way? Next, we have optimism, to always see the light and what's possible. Always see that what's possible. This one's been a challenge for me recently. I will be completely transparent. And this is the part of the purpose moving forward with the show is I hope you guys are ready for complete transparency. Not that I was like lying beforehand. We're all just on this journey, and I feel like I've had a lot of internal growth, acceptance this year. And now it's about opening up and sharing that, right? Optimism, I love optimism. I see myself as an optimist, but recently this has been really challenging. And that's where your values really come into, not into question. That's where if your values are really your values, this is the time that they will be highlighted ultimately. Hopefully I've communicated that properly. This is where the proof is in the pudding. I think that's a English saying that we have, right? That with optimism, to always see the light in what's possible. It's been a challenge for me recently for many different reasons, and some of which I'm going to be sharing over the next couple of weeks. Mostly because I've also been taking another program recently on Mindvalley. I try and take one per month, just put it out there. And this month has been all about intuition. And I've realized that I've been operating too much from my intellect capability rather than from my guts, my heart, my intuition, right? To lead an intuitive life, which actually feels true for me, to lead more from intuition, and for intuition to be the master, and for my intellect to be a servant in a way. Again, I'll dedicate a whole episode to this. I want to focus on our vivid vision. So that's something I've been going through. But optimism, to always see the light and what's possible. And as I mentioned, this has been put into question recently for me, and I'm coming out the other side of it. And finally, on our foundational values, we have health, okay, to take care and look after ourselves in every aspect of our lives. Health, come on, is so important. If we don't have our health, what do we have? If we don't have our health, can we go out into the world and contribute fully and as much as we want to? If we don't have our health, then actually being, embracing optimism, becoming an optimist is even more challenging because we're in bed ill. It's just a bigger challenge, right? If we're in that situation, are we growing? Can we express gratitude to the capability that we want? So health is also at the center, right? And that's why it's a foundational value. So quickly on to organizational values. As I mentioned before, collaboration, to work together in the pursuit of our core purpose and common missions. So I'm going to be dedicating an entire episode to a approach called Humanity Plus. Okay, I want you to remember that I think it's going to be in a few episodes' time, because the next few episodes coming up are all about, I've actually got some guests coming on, so they're more guest focused. But our mission ultimately is to create a Humanity Plus company through the act of bringing a 5-pillar approach with the weave that I've created into the world that does good for everyone and moves humanity forward. And so this 5-pillar approach is broken down into 5 different missions, and it goes from our team to our customers, clients, consumers, the wider community, the world at large, the environment. Okay? So let me repeat that. Our mission is to create a Humanity Plus company. What does Humanity Plus, quickly share this with you? What does that even mean? It means it's a company, or it could even be a career that does good for everyone and moves humanity forward. We've broken it down into, it starts with our team, moves on to our customers, impacts the wider community, impacts the world at large, contributes to the environment. Okay? This is also on our website. Again, click the link in the description for a detailed view on, or for a detailed description of each. Our team, I will just summarize each word. So our team is to create a thriving workplace culture where work doesn't feel like work, it feels like play. And everyone gets to do what they love and what brings them energy. So as we're growing, that's our mission for our team. That's our mission for our workplace, okay? To create a workplace culture where work doesn't feel like work, it feels like play. Amazing. I've been part of workplace cultures and family members and that they just wake up every morning, they don't want to go to work, they hate going to work. Why? Work is like 80-something% of our lives. It should feel, I don't like to use words like should, but in my opinion, work is play. It's where we can bring our strengths and skills and talents into the world. So that's our mission for our team, to create a workplace culture that feels like play. Mission 2 for our customers is to create experiences, products, and services that change the face of the world that we live in today, basically, and impacts every single customer, every single client in a meaningful way. I believe that every single product or service that we buy is to impact our lives in a meaningful way. How one defines meaningful way is very interesting. Okay? Because there is the psychology point of view that says we only buy ultimately what we want to buy, that we feel is going to reduce one of our pains. But let's be honest here, or give us pleasure. I should throw that in. Somebody buys a Coca-Cola drink, a can of Coke, right? Or a can of Dr. Pepper, whatever the fizzy drinks are these days. Is that product impacting, also improving, which is key here as well, the lives of that specific person? It's a product. Is it improving and impacting? It's an impact, but it's not improving, and it's not improving it in a meaningful way. And in the moment that person gets pleasure, but the long-term effects of that drink isn't improving that person's life. And so throughout everything that we do for our customers, it's about improving, impacting in a positive way, in a meaningful way, their lives. That's what we're doing. Mission 3, the wider community. So from impacting all of the lives of our customers, that's going to create a positive outcome for all of the people around them, therefore for the wider community. And it positively touches the lives of many. If I'm at my best self, if I'm healthy, happy, leading with love and kindness, optimistic, in the game, you bet your bottom dollar that all of my friends, all of my family will get obviously the best version of me, and that will positively impact their lives as well. Or I get to positively impact their lives, share optimism and love and kindness to them, that lights them up. Guess what happens? It creates a ripple effect. On to mission 4, the world at large. Once we create that ripple effect, we can start to then move humanity forward in the world at large, right? The world at large is also all about creating a more conscious, a more awake, and more aware world in general through education, so through the podcast, through the wider community, etc., and really creating that ripple effect. And mission 5 is the environment, to make a significant difference in the world by creating something that lives on beyond us, moving humanity forward in a way that is eco-friendly, like really becoming eco-conscious. Let's call it eco-conscious, eco-friendly, right? Looks after the planet we call home. So on the document that is in the comments with the link that will take you through to that. We have a whole section on our company culture that's broken down. So I've shared a little bit of that with you, where workers play. I'm not going to dive into that. What I am going to share with you, and if you like what you hear so far, I'd highly recommend checking that out, because we break it down in and become really descriptive over what that feels like, what that acts, what we're going to act, what we are acting like, and etc. etc. From like how our team members are not employees, they're like family. From everyone just come to work with that love and with that fun and with that enjoyment for our work and life that collectively contributes to not just creating that vibrant environment, but the world at large, abundant growth mindset and everything that we do in the status quo, etc., etc. If that sounds of interest to you, go and check out the document. It's in the description of this episode, in the show notes. What I do want to share with you is our brands, right? So basically here at Raising Consciousness, we combine passions for things like personal growth, health, education, to do that, right? To move humanity forward. And we merge them with the creation of apparel products, content, apps, and creating thriving spaces where we can all ultimately thrive. Okay. And we do this through brands and our projects. At the time of recording this, we have and over the next 3 years, we have three main projects that we're working on. The first one is called Just Gratitude, an idea of mine for so long. It is a humanity first lifestyle brand that combines a content platform, apparel, so lifestyle apparel, and a global community with humanity first values to inspire current and future generations to become a better version of themselves. Okay, so watch out for this over the next month. Okay, now we're in August, it's going to be coming to you this month. We then have Think Different. So Think Different is a Humanity Plus business and career consultancy that guides and supports businesses, brands, and also individuals. So let's break down individuals really quick. So influencers, sports professionals, athletes, etc., to create Humanity Plus businesses and careers that do good for everyone and move humanity forward. Maybe you've picked up on something. Our mission is to create a Humanity Plus company. From us doing that, we are guiding and supporting other businesses and individuals ultimately to do the same, so we collectively we can move humanity forward. End of, right? Think Different. We then have Academy. So Zonal Academy is basically a huge passion of mine. So I'm a huge football and sports fan, and I believe that through sports that we can impact a lot of people. Okay, in the sports mindset, and just like the sports culture, I guess, as well, but more just reflect on like how athletes think. There's something in that I want to share with and get out there more to help people to live their best lives and become a better version of themselves. In Zonal Academy, it's a group of football clubs and academies that we're going to be building over the next 3 to 5 years. But really, even with that, it's going to be even beyond that, 5 to 10 years. Just something in the next 3 years, we're going to be starting that develop, support, and nurture the next generation of talent, for football talent in particular, to not just be great at what they do, but to be even better human beings with, again, humanity first values guiding the way. And if you're wondering what humanity first values are, it's the values I shared at the beginning. It's the foundational values: love and kindness, gratitude, growth, contribution, optimism. And so that's ultimately what we do. Okay, we facilitate and we service these brands. For a deep dive into each brand, head on over to the document, the Vivid Vision document in the description of this episode. Also, in this document, you're going to see our customer and client experience that we want to create and that we're focused on creating. It forms obviously part of mission 2, to create experiences that really improve the quality of lives of everyone that we touch. But it's also about, let's create an award-winning customer client experience throughout all that we do. That's thriving. You want to create that thriving brand. You want people on board who also want to create that and move humanity forward with us in a meaningful way to create a better world for current and future generations. Also, in this document, we have how we want to be seen and seen and show up in media, in the media, and in our kind of marketing and what we're doing there to get our message out there. So definitely check out the document for that. And we also have business operations. Operations is very important. Some people might think, oh, it's like the boring part, but it's so important. Operations, right? Go back and check out episode with Mike Fakara. I'll link that down below as well. In this episode, Mike shares 3 keys to running a business. And guess what? Business operations is one of those. So we break that down. And also in this Vivid Vision document, we have our manifesto. Okay, our manifesto that I will read to you. Okay, so this is our manifesto. Okay, guys, let's do this. Our manifesto is: imagine a company where raising human consciousness happens. A company where badasses, creators, innovators, conscious leaders, entrepreneurs, and unconventional people thrive together as they bring their strengths, skills, gifts, talents, passions, interests, and ideas into the world. At this company, there are no rules, which are bullshit rules, designed to keep people stuck, restricted, and in a box. No, this company is full of freedom, self-expression, love, kindness, optimism, and honesty. It thrives. It's a place of work. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like play. There are no borders or traditional offices. Everyone has the freedom and responsibility to choose where and when they work, as long as the work is done. At this company, people aren't just people. They are like family and support each other in their growth and unfoldment. This company pushes the boundaries of what it thinks is possible in everything that it does, from its company culture to creating experiences, products, and services that aren't afraid to challenge the status quo and traditional thinking to move humanity forward and improve the lives of everyone they touch. At this company, they are creating something that lives beyond all of us, and they envision a more conscious, awake, aware, and better world in which we are all living consciously, being who we are, not who the world wants us to be, but doing what we love, what brings us energy and fulfillment, not what takes our energy away. A world in which we are doing more and complaining less, expressing gratitude for what we have, while working towards the life that we envision. Developing a growth mindset, not a fixed one, opening up and talking about our emotions and how we feel, not bottling them aside. A world in which we look after our health, for life is a marathon, not a sprint. And this company is committed to lifelong learning and not finishing at school. This company is dedicated to creating a world in which we are cultivating meaningful relationships that aren't based on assumptions, lies, and deceit. They are being loving, kind, and understanding to all without taking anything personally, contributing, serving, and supporting others, not from an empty cup. Being optimistic and always seeing the light, not pessimistic. Taking responsibility for our lives, not blaming, judging, or gossiping about others. Having confidence, courage, and faith in all that we do without fear, dread, or worry. Always doing our best in everything that we do, not living with regrets. And consciously growing towards accomplishing the ultimate goal, a better version of ourselves. This company is raising consciousness, and we exist to raise human consciousness and move humanity forward, so that collectively we create a better world for current and future generations. Do you care to join us? And with that said, guys, I think that's a great way to end today's episode. Okay? So I hope that this episode has been insightful. It's giving you a little bit of an insight into raising consciousness. Please check out our website, raisingconsciousness.co.uk. Head on over to my website, ubros.com, and check out the link in the description for the full Vivid Vision document. Okay? Breaks it down a lot more. It is about 15 pages, but it's designed in an easy to read way. There's a lot more pictures actually, and it flows quite nicely. That's raising consciousness, guys. I'm just grateful for every one of you that's tuned in today. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I hope this has been insightful, and I will look forward to definitely showing up more and recording more episodes. So Again, thank you for tuning in today. I've wanted to share this for a little while, so I'm pleased that I've been able to. And remember that here at Raising Consciousness, we exist, okay? Our sole purpose is to raise human consciousness and move humanity forward so that collectively we create a better world for current and future generations. And do you care to join us? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Peace out, and I look forward to talking to you all really soon. If you got value from this episode, found it insightful, or learned a thing or two, please leave a review where you can let everyone know that this show is worth checking out. I appreciate you so much. You'll be hearing from me in the next episode.